What up, what up? Zach Bradshaw along with a guy here. Back to record how bad I suck at trading, essentially. Some of this was execution, some of it's just crypto is brutal. Some of it's not really that, some of it's not bad at all. But um, in my last video, at least I think I made a video about this, I talked about basically selling out here off of this buy. So taking, basically locking in a large loss here. For no reason. Well, at least a loss based on where my last buy was. Because I did have, well, I guess it was, I don't know. Let's not get into the weeds of that. At some point, I recorded a video about locking in these losses here at 7,000 when Bitcoin did this thing right here. This thing right here. And because I'd bought somewhere up here at like 83. I think I was trying to buy this breakout, and then it went the other way based on some news event. I needed to work and whatever else, and so I got out somewhere in here, not wanting to lose any more than I had lost off of this top here, because I had buys like lower than this, but got out of basically all of my positions at like a terrible time. Bitcoin only stayed down here for a little bit and went back up. And then I watched for a little bit. I bought again, and then I stopped out again with like a 2% gain, I guess. So I bought. Let's see. Shit. Let's look at these. So I bought at 77, like before it went to 8,000, because I was pretty sure it was going to go to 8,000. Then I took some of that profit because I think I just had a moving stop loss that got triggered. And then I bought again, which was higher than that, obviously. But then it was just before it broke up to like 88 for the first time. And so I bought again when it was sitting here along this 86. But then I was kind of like, ooh, I was a little bit too overzealous. So I sold out of some of that position at a bit of a gain here. And then I set a stop loss for this error right here that ended up stopping out. After this, I'd like wanted to buy this and failed to buy it. And so then I would have wanted to sell this, but it was like super fast, and this crypto being crypto. So my stop loss ended up kicking in and get me out of this here, and then I was able to buy again, not at a great place, at 48 or at 84, and then I just got stopped out at 84, and it's the reason I'm doing this video because I shouldn't have been stopped out. I need to basically make this video to talk about and make sure that I'm locking in this memory that of how stop losses work, and knowing that I don't make this mistake again in the future. So I was like, I guess under the assumption, like I wish Coinbase just had stop market sells still, and maybe I'll be switching exchanges so I can get a stop market sell, or stop market buys as well. But I don't want like a stop limit is a weird thing because it could go past your price and then you don't get out. At least I think. Maybe I'm like confused about that. But like here, I set a stop limit or a stop loss that was like basically like if 84.75 is broken, then I want to set an order on the books to sell right here, which makes no freaking sense because the price isn't that low. And obviously if there's buy pressure in here, then somebody will have just got like filled for no reason. So I guess I need to have them, my stop limit needs to be like right at the same place, and my position size needs to be small enough that the price doesn't bypass that. And obviously like in this account, I'm only trading like 300 bucks. So my size is not going to move the order books. But as I move forward, I need to like get my fundamentals down on how stop market orders like hit the books, and then how, or stop limit orders hit the books, and then how and where I should position it. Like I don't understand, for example, why there's even two of these. Like I mean, I guess I could say if the price goes this low, I could set a sell order higher than that low. But that's like a weird. I don't like. I just don't understand the. Um, Not to say I don't understand. I could see like, okay, if it touches down here, then hopefully it should bounce a little bit and I can sell right here. But that seems like a weird. That seems like a really weird way for that to be the only way that they have stops in place, right? Like, why would they not have a stop market? So I guess I need to like brush up on my fundamentals here to understand like why they thought that having stop limits only was safer. I guess the price runs fast, but like, okay, now I'm stuck in this position. I didn't actually get out. So I'm just curious about that, and will be, I'm like watching through all the Crowns videos right now. I'll probably end up buying this course, and then probably look at some other things just about different orders. I thought I understood it pretty well, but this was obviously just a really poor execution to like put my sell position in the middle of where the buy wall would be, right? Like, that makes no darn sense. So that was my bad. So I have this stop sitting out here in the middle of space. But this trade was doing pretty well for me. Where did I say I bought it at? Like 84.33. And when it did, I bought it somewhere, let me see, 84. I think I bought it probably like on this candle, or maybe, no, because it went straight up from the time that I got it. So I never had to, oh, it was on the 10-minute chart though that I made my buy. Let's look at this. So what I was doing basically, let's see. Did I get it in here? No. Somewhere in here. Maybe I bought on this candle. Oh yeah, I did buy on that candle. That was how that candle looked. So I bought here on this candle. I think it went down for, yeah, like about right here. I think it went down a little bit first, you see on this next candle. But then it was like basically immediately up. No. This is not right. Oh yeah, that is right. Okay, so I bought here, and then I ended up setting my my first stops, and this would have executed even worse. Like, I'm glad that this didn't get triggered, but I basically had a triangle drawn based on this 10-minute support line. I guess I can just go ahead and throw it back in here so I can. This video will be more useful when I review it. I don't have to match it up with my Coinbase order book stuff to get it right. And so I ended up buying, yeah, I bought the wick of this candle here. And then it went up, and the first place that I had my stop loss set, and I also was using Dan from the chart guys, like exponential moving averages. And so like I was moving up my stop loss to, like, it stopped at the bottom of this candle, is like, or at this line. But at first it was a little bit lower because I thought, okay, it could test. Man, I was like completely messed up in how I was thinking about this. So like I ended up having my trigger price was up here. I think, let's see, probably on the basis of the bottom of this candle, the same candle that I bought on, or maybe it was this one. Or maybe it was actually this third one, because it was 3 of them away from that same candle, so, or 3 like lows away from that same candle. So if the price had gone to here, I would have sold out basically somewhere along that line, and I was moving it up as this trend line went, because like I thought maybe it could come back and bounce off this trend line before really breaking out in the triangle, or it could be a false start or whatever. But it was a smaller position size, so I wasn't trying to like less than half of this little account or whatever. So I wasn't trying to, I could take it going against me 1%, right? And so then as things wore on, I ended up putting my trigger price at this point, which is, I think, is what ended up triggering. Yeah, I ended up having my trigger price at this point, but then having my actual execution point down here. So like this point broke on this candle, but then my stop loss ended up, wait, am I looking at the right? point. Yeah, I guess I am. So on this candle, okay, so as all that zoom was just messed up. Let's get rid of this for now. And so on this candle, it broke this right here. And I think I probably had like 65 or something like that. So, okay, it was, I actually did it off the bottom of this candle, I think. So it was 65, yeah. So at 65, right here, let's just go ahead and put a line here. Like, this is the dumbest, like, how do you not understand how that this would have happened? This is just hilarious. But, so this candle broke that, and that ended up selling way down here where the price never came to. And that, you know, was like my execution being poor, and that was still like, okay, it could bounce down here, or like it could hit this price, and I want my thing on the order books. I don't even, okay, so I had no chance of like slippage or whatever. That is, I'm still so confused about why they removed market or stop market orders. Like, that just seems, it must be something to do with crypto and like the fact that these are all BART charts, but like that doesn't make any sense to me. And I hope that as I'm reviewing this in time, I'm able to answer this question for myself, why they did this. But I should have, and I mean I should still be in this trade based on where my actual stop, like where I would have wanted it to be. And then I probably would have like moved it up here. So like, yeah, this was my trigger price, but like this is where I really wanted my stop at, was based off the bottom of this candle. And then as it went up, I considered moving up my stops, and if I would have moved up my stops, it would have helped me. But I also thought, well, it could come back down a couple of times and test this area right here, right? Like this, the same thing that I drew the triangle off of, and then where all these wicks are touching, that also goes back to a couple of areas like this one, and maybe those one somewhere further out. But basically, it could come back down and touch this area, and like you see, it's still coming back down and looking like it wants to keep testing this area. And I don't necessarily want to stop out on that, but I would have based it off the bottom of this instead of the bottom of this one now, so it would have moved up a little bit. And then probably would have, after this one, maybe probably would have took some of my position off, maybe just as soon as this green bar came. And then like whatever, but part of this, you know, like I got freaking work to do, so I can't sit here and necessarily manage these stops all day. Even just, you know, sometimes I'm working with like literally like 20 tabs up, and you see like my computer's already getting bogged down now just by what I have going on in the background right now. But like, I let the price sit right here while I'm working across like a whole bunch of tabs here. And so it's like a distraction, and it's really easy for me to miss like a really quick move even if I'm paying attention. So it makes sense for me to move my stops off, for me to take this 2% that I basically would have gotten here, and then like continue and move on. Now I need to check that this video is actually working, and I guess it is, but still kind of struggling. At least my computer is. I don't feel like closing out my other stuff. But basically, this video is to highlight to myself in my memory, having recorded this video is going to help me remember to actually set up my stops right and to do research on them. Luckily, I lost like $2 or something like that, and I ended up, you know, my sell was higher than my gain, or then my sell was higher than my buy, so there was a little percent gain there except for this fee, and so I guess I lost less than $1.50 on that pretty cheap lesson. But at the same time, looking at where I could be right now, you know, it could be like a $2 gain or a $3 or $4 gain with, you know, with half of my position or part of my position, maybe all of my position, if I had missed this action completely, still with more upside. Now, without this buy price here, you know, breaking out of this, not really quite a triangle because it wasn't really a test up here or anything like that. And now that it's broken through this trend line here, it didn't really go up much more. I'm a little bit more in limbo and not sure, um, not as sure about getting back into a position, especially like 2% higher than I was, and um, not quite as far away from where I think it may go, like 92 or 96 or 10,000 or something like that. And it's more important for me to keep my capital on the side for when I think it goes back down and tries to bounce off of 72 or maybe even go lower than that. Um, or there could be some new pattern that I would like to trade, and I feel more confident in that. I'm not just gonna get back in this position because I didn't want to stop out. That's like not the way to do it. And so that's that. I think my lesson has been learned. Hopefully, if you're watching this, you're just like never gonna watch another one of my trading videos again. At least not for like the next 3 to 5 years or something like that. You should go watch Crown's Crypto Cave, maybe a little Tone Vase, um, probably the chart guys. Chart guys for sure in terms of like, it's kind of like watch the chart guys then watch Crown is kind of like the best advice. And then maybe some Tone Vase, some Hyperwave, some Trade Devil, some other traders out there. But that's enough of this. I will actually shut up. Uh, Sorry if you watch through this on YouTube. That's hilarious, though. It's your loss. I don't have an exit for this, so until next time. Peace.